Hello everybody and welcome. Today we're gonna do a little guide slash tutorial for this game because this game can be a little bit troublesome when you start it first time. Now let's start off the bat. First thing, when we start the game we'll be presented with this building. We'll have to place it somewhere on planet and everything will build around this building. Now what would I suggest you is when you place this building, majority of residential buildings will be built by their own and we'll start building around it. As you can see here, every building is concentrated in this circle. What I have done to make this game efficient, I have pulled the main street and on this side I have built entire industry. So let's say over the time you have to plan things. We have here are windmills which are producing electricity. Also every other factory and so on. I would suggest you to make minimum 2 steel mills. You can shut them off during the time, and also electronic components, because it will take you much of them to progress from the modern age to the space age. For the start of the game you will be presented with wooden and stone refinery. Also, as you can see, I have built quite a few of them because they are turned off at the moment, but at the start of the game you will need a lot of this to progress from medieval to modern time, so keep that in mind. Now let's deal with a few basic things. I would suggest you to build a lot of water reservoirs. As you can see here, I have many of them because you don't want your nuggets to drink polluted water and get sick. You will have to kill them and they will die. Also, there are different consequences for that. Besides that, let's talk about, let's say, we're gonna start here from here. This is something you will need to pay attention. From the medieval era you will start producing pollution. Also, as you can see here, there is a certain amount of trees which are planted on the ground. You will cut them to make space for your buildings and so on. You will need for industry, but because we have got powers we can just plant forests somewhere. So keep that in mind, because you will be running out of oxygen and stuff if you don't have enough of them. Now, as you can see here, we have used some gun points and we have created forests. So keep this from the medieval era, sorry. Keep in mind this column here because it is important. You will get things to fight it. First you will be presented with parks and such things. Let's see, I think, just let me a second here. So as you can see here, every building requires electricity, water. Not every building, but can require electricity, water, and can make pollution. Or, as in the case with this building, it produces, as you can see, it lowers crime, increases happiness, and also it lowers our CO2. So it is good to counter. Pollution and produce oxygen in a early stage of the game. Later you will get things like air filters, and there is oxygen producer also. So this is the thing you need to keep in mind. This is one of the most important buildings, so try to cover every piece of land with a few of these. Also, besides them, you will need engineers. They repair every single building, so everything you build, you must build in this circle, or during time it will decay and collapse every building and you will have to invest resources in it. One more thing that is very useful for putting in a lot of places is a second, where is here it is, fire station. So as you can see, I have covered
Running out of oil has really
majority
put a damper on
of
that
the
oil
planet
jack's
with
rhythm.
this, because I don't like to do things manually. You can automate a lot of things in this game just by simply, when you research down hole, you can put different kind of ministers and they will As you can see here, Minister of Entertainment, he will produce air balloons, cosmetic hair salons, and so on of energy. So if your civilization is lacking any of this type, buildings of this type, ministers will place this building and you don't have to build it manually. But until the space age, I would suggest you to build it. Also, as you can see here, some ministers are off, like this guy. He produced defense towers. Because I have exterminated all enemies on the planet, I don't need him, so I don't put him. He will place these buildings and they will suck people, also will consume electricity and so on. And I don't want to waste resources on buildings I don't have to. As you can see here, this building, cement factory, I have a lot of cement. So I have stopped this building from producing things. You can turn it on and off here. When you make town hall, this when the building is turned on. Sorry, wrong button. Here it is. Ah, here it is. So we have you can assign them all, or during the time, as you can see, they will assign nuggets from here that are free, and they will fill these slots during over the time. Now, few buildings that are unique in this game, besides our town hall. As you can see here, you can choose your influence, the choosing of your new leader, just by clicking here, and majority of people who believe in you will work for them. There are different kind of things they will, as you can see here, different kind of things and laws they will introduce when they are elected, if they are elected. Also, there is a building which allows you to have underground explorations, which will bring you different kind of resources and stuff, which are, let's say, a little bit different and harder to acquire than normal resources. Also, every planet has a certain amount of resources like oil, metal, and so on. So let's say we want to place some building which produces, where is it? Iron mine. So as you can see here, it is marked with a light blue, and we're gonna look for some place which is good for, which has higher number. The higher number, the more resources you can acquire for building. Also, one thing I would highly recommend you, if you are developing your industry on one side and your population and recreational buildings on the other side, for every building that produces something, you put a warehouse near it. Here you can disable everything and put only one kind of resources to be put in this building. There are things like teamsters which will transport from resources from one factory to another and to the storehouse. Also, I would suggest to put near the factory buildings few of these teamster buildings. Later on you will have oxygen generators and so on, so it consumes different kind of resources. For this, let's say we run out of gas, don't worry, there are more planets here. You can click here and you can at any time move to some other planet. Just when you're in the space era, you will be getting Cosmodrome. You can fill this rocket with some basic items. You can also take some buildings with you, and just when you land your ship, let's say on this planet, just be careful. Some planets don't have oxygen, some planets have radiation, and planets don't have water, as you can see here. So depending on the planet you're landing, you will need different kind of equipment, buildings, crews, and so on. Besides that, I would suggest you highly to go green, because you will save a lot of time not correcting this atmosphere and pollution. You will only use like 1 or 2 oxygen filters on this planet, but if you go nuclear and so some other type of energy, you will have troubles with it. Now, let's start with the research tree. There are a few things this game will present you. Let's say we are researching. These yellow things require special points here, which you see we require. We get 5 points per 10 minutes from movie theaters and 5 from universities. Also, Quest will provide you with some number of these points during the game. So don't worry, you can acquire all these yellow things in time. But here we have, let's say, our first choice. We are progressing, and at this moment we can choose to go like Eco, or we can choose to go Industrial Boom. Once I have chosen this option remains locked. What this means? This means in the future, as you can see here, some branches of the research tree will be locked because you haven't went that way. Also, you will be presented with through the research with a few choices like that, which will let you go, let's say, here. As you can see here, we can use kinetic energy and wind energy, but we have a locked combustible energy. Also, if we unlock combustible energy, it's this will be locked. For the research, all you have to do is click on it. It will click few of them, they will line up here, and it only takes time, you don't need nothing. As for the God points, it is fairly easy. Believers generated over time, as you can see here, half of population. This is your population, this is the number of babies currently, or kids. So half of population believes in us. You can increase that number to various mechanics, but main thing is you need God points. Now, God points can be acquired fairly easily. All we have to do, just give me a second, let me find it. Here it is. Now, at some moment they will build a temple to you. All we have to do is pick up one of our nuggets. We have telekinesis, which can be used to pick up any object and so on. You can also pick up, I don't know, wood, stone and so on, and deliver it to building manually. So we pick him up, now we put him here. And we have generated some points, so don't worry about the points. You can acquire them fairly easily. Now, about the resources. There are few main resources like food and water. Every statistics is shown here. So I would suggest you to build a lot of water towers. It is one of the most essential things in the game. Everything will break apart if you lose water, and electricity is also very important because it leads to one building halts, then another building halts, and so on. So it is circle without end. So always build excessive energy. As you can see here, I have a lot of windmills. Also produced solar panels. Windmills are more effective, but I have tried them just as well. There are warehouse stores, as you can see here, and we have this is a special kind of resource which you can acquire on any planet, few of them only. It allows you to make robots and different kind of items, you will see. Now we have basically resources like wood, stone, which are basically endless on any planet. Planks and bricks are produced from this, so these two resources are endless. Herbs are also greater, don't worry about them. Now we come to the iron, oil, and gas. These three resources are limited on every planet, so I would suggest you to go with the bigger planets, as they have much more of the resources. Also, when you run out of them, you can set up colony on other planet and trade between the planets. Besides that, we have glass, we have cement, which are, let's say, medieval type of products. Unlock them and you will have a large amount of it. But now we come to chemicals, electronics and steel beams, which are the heart of your economy. These things you will need a lot. I have 2 factories from every of this building. Steel beams, plastic and fuel are something you will need in late game, not so much, so keep that in mind. Also, everything in this game affects, like say here the water is falling, and this lake will fill up from, as you can see, from the water that is falling. You can produce with your god powers different kind of things, from clouds, tornadoes, and so on. So let's say we have a water plant somewhere
A gas mine
Let's
has
say we
run
have a
dry.
water pump
Now
here.
we'll see
I
if
have
the
multiple
planet
water
really
pumps.
does
These are
deflate.
modern water pumps. As you can see here, they have, and this lake would dry up pretty fast, but at the late game you will be given a hydro collider which refills the lakes automatically, so I don't have to produce rain and so on. So during the mid game you will have to do some things manually, but in the late game majority of things is automated, which is pretty cool. I like it, so you don't have to focus on micromanagement, but I would suggest you fairly until the medieval age is done for you to do everything manually, just to get a hang on how many plants you need, how many wind colliders you need, and so on. Besides that, you have a few things like weather station, which will provide you with weather that is coming. Also, as you can see here, he is dictating disaster meteors. They will hit us at some place, let's say here. But as I said, we have a lot of god powers, and we can do things like this. We can form protective dome, and it will cover this part of the map from meteors, enemy strikes, and so on. Besides that, one of the most useful things in the beginning of the game is this, so Cupid power. Now you can influence every nugget manually, so let's say him, I can click and I can use this power or this power, I can heal him, or I can align him with some other nuggets and they will immediately start to produce family. So, just a second, as you can see here. So it is very good at the beginning for expanding your population, because you will start only with 2 nuggets and start is a little bit slow. As you can see here, this is a piece of alien tech. All we have to do, this is one of the powers you will use the most, telekinesis. All we have to do is pick it up. You can press F button, drop it in your town center. Now once it is in your town center, nuggets will research it. Once researched, it will be safe to open. Sometimes it can contain plagues, bombs and so on, but majority of times it will provide you with unique buildings like this, as you can see. Some of them take a lot of resources, so be careful when you're placing them on the map. Let's say this, it takes 50 steel, so if you're short on steel, don't put them. Also some things like, as you can see here, this nugget is hurt, we can heal him. Every action will affect a number of your believers, so if, let's say he wasn't believing in us, now he will start believe, and people who witnessed it in the near surrounding will also start believing it. But as I said before, you can pick them up and influence them through the fear. So now, let's say I have killed him, some people would see that and be influenced to fear to believe in you. Now, this is one of the most important skills here, because besides the environment, here as you can see happiness level, try to keep it at a higher level. Every building affects it in a positive or negative way, but there are a lot of buildings which will help you in this way, so this shouldn't be a problem. Also crime level, this is something which I never had a problem with. There are 2 types of things you can do. You can make jail or you can make rehabilitation centers, so it is up to you. You also have police stations, they will go and arrest criminals and so on. This game contains every single building from, let's say here, so they're divided into buildings, let's say like engineers, you will need them to, everything will be built around these buildings, as you can see they are marked on the map. People will work here, go around and fix things around the map, so this is one of the most important buildings in the game. Also, in the utilities, water towers, as you can see here, I have many of them. They are also extremely important buildings. Try to spread them around so your nuggets don't have to go just to one place. It is So let's say we have Nugget working here, he will come here instead of going, say if you have a central store like we have made 10 of them here. Now, besides, as you can see, there is a cemetery. If people die in the game, they will leave corpse and the disease will spread. So this guy who works in cemetery will come in this radius, pick up the corpse and burn it and or whatever. This category is for utility buildings. So as you can see, producing power and water. Also there is air filter which you will acquire in the late game. Here you produce every kind of resources you want, from food to iron, gas, and so on. As you can see there, except this building, these guys are like teamsters. They are specialized in moving goods from factories to factories, warehouse, and so on. So I would suggest you highly to make a few of them near your factories and so on to speed up transfer of resources. Next category is manufacturing. So this is for the refinement of every kind of resources. As you can see here, glass, it creates glass from a gas, cement, and so on. So keep in mind, if you have a few of these buildings, you might have to open a few of the mines in order to produce enough resources to satisfy this building. Next category is defense. So here we have things like hospitals, defense towers, bunkers. Bunkers can be used to hide your nuggets from the disasters. Fire station is also very important if you don't like to micromanagement. So there are fire storms and they can burn a lot of things, not just your buildings, they can burn surroundings like wood and so on, which also influence again pollution. So try to spread them wherever you have buildings. Next up we have also, yes, we have things like barracks, tank hangars, and so on. You will have enemy fractions or friendly fractions on the planet. Here we had one town, but I have destroyed them because they had tried to go into the war with me. Also we have recreational buildings, which not only increases happiness and decreases crime. They are buildings like you see here. It has minus 0.7% influence on carbon dioxide, so it lowers your carbon dioxide in the air and filters your planet. So in the mid of the game you won't have air purifiers and such things, but you can place this. It eats water, yes, but water is relatively easy to get, but this will keep you from having your planet polluted.
Is now a bad
Okay,
time to
we
announce
have meteor
that a
shower.
meteor shower is hurtling
As
toward
you
your
can see
city,
here,
creator?
in 2 minutes. Now we're gonna protect this area. We don't have nothing here, but as you can see there are a lot of trees and the fire will spread. Nice. Now let's go to the next step. We have legendary buildings. As I said, you will acquire pieces of tech from aliens, and when you unlock any kind of building you can build it wherever you want. Also one just a second, where is it? Let me show you one. Here it is. Now this is a clone center. This is a building when you can produce new nuggets and not just change their look, colors, and so on. You can influence them with a certain kind of genes, which is fairly cool. You can make them also immortal, but be careful, because when they're immortal, population can spiral out of control. This thing you will see during the time. I will leave it up for you to find out how you will get this, but this planet cracker can be restored to functionality. You will have on certain planets buildings which you will need to special research, which you will produce special building, and you need to unlock these three stuff. One will be always on your planet, two will be located on the planet's near you. As you can see, one is here on the moon. So we can set up colony here and not only extract resources we're missing on the main planet, but some things for the fixing of the planet cracker. Also, there are some buildings that are unique, not only in the look, but in what they do, like this alien trader. So more will be unlocked during the eras. You will see here, this is the time when UFOs will visit our planet, so in 2 minutes, and they will kidnap some of our nuggets. You can allow it if not, but every time you destroy this ship, they will leave you a useful piece of tech. So let's see, just a second, have they researched this? So this is almost research, I will show you in a minute. And there are a few more buildings. I will leave some surprises for you, which are also unique and will help you in many ways. As you can see here, we have a Big Ben, which is a unique building, also Leaning Tower of the Pisa. So besides all of this, this is the basic gameplay. So all you have to do is keep your eye on a few things like happiness, environment. Research, as I said, is and you don't need anything, you just click on things and they will start researching immediately, and you will have a certain amount of time for it to pass, but you don't have to wait like for eternity. Also, as you can see here, the things you are buying, we have here 50 points acquired. They will build instantly, as you can see. Some things are more useful, some things are not. I will again suggest you to go green. It is far more easier to, let's say, manage green environment than not. It has cost because you will have to produce much higher amount of these buildings than, let's say, few nuclear reactors. But on the long term, you will have less problems with the environment, much less problem, because some buildings are very heavy polluters and they will leave you in very big trouble. Now let me show you this. Okay, so they have researched this, we're gonna open it. As you can see, here we have acquired a new piece of the tech, so of the unique building. But we have lost 70 nuggets that were here, as you can see here. Thing can explode. Now we can manually pick up this nugget and bring it to cemetery for them not to spread disease. But over time, people who are working at the cemetery will come and pick them up and will bury them. As for the god powers, this one is very useful at the beginning. It will save a lot of time and can make your population grow much faster. This one is also very useful for defense if you have wildlife, enemies and so on. This one is also useful for, as you can see, I have 11k from 16k trees, so we can add trees fairly easily. One of the most useful ones, even if it costs a lot of points, is this. You can combat wildfires and so on. I haven't used this almost never. This is your primary power. You will use this definitely 90% of the time. You will see it for different kind of purposes. So with this, let's say we are building new building, especially useful when you have a low workforce. Let's say you have started the game and you have only a few of your nuggets, and you want to make some building faster, and you don't want them to go and smash stone, cut wood and so on. So we're gonna, let's say, build one water tower. It doesn't matter where. Now this water tower will require certain resources, and at the start, as you can see, I can just pick up stone and put it in here. It doesn't correspond because this building at the moment needs resources of a higher tier, but at the start of the game you can use it to increase your speed of production, building some important buildings and so on. We also have a season change, which can be useful at the beginning. As you can see, it costs a lot. So at the winter, everything will freeze and you won't have, let's say, food, you won't have access to draw water from the oceans, don't have options to fish, so you can just change your season if you're stuck and you have a low number of water. There are different kind of scenarios in which this can be useful. Also, this is useful at the beginning for healing your nuggets. Later on you will have a million of them and you won't need that. So this is the basically everything from the god powers. As you progress, you will unlock more powers, you will unlock more genes which you can insert in your nuggets, whether you clone them or whether you start new game and create new kind of nugget. Now what I especially like about this game is everything can be in the late game automated, and that is something I very enjoy, so I don't have to focus on this fire off. I don't have to focus on micromanagement. In the beginning it is very important, but in the late game it kind of gets annoying, so I can focus on building pretty buildings, arranging stuff, rearranging and so on, traveling to different planets. Also you can destroy any building if you want and just build something over it. Also, when buildings are destroyed, you can order at the place where the building has been destroyed. Rubble will be left. You can salvage the remaining resources, or you can rebuild them for some extra resources. So guys, this is basically it. This guide has been a little bit longer than usual, but this game is in some sense complex until you get hang of the basic ropes. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, like, share and subscribe. It helps us. Also will keep you in the loop with the new content we will produce. So see you guys and have fun.